Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another Arrow review. This time it's the second half of the crossover Legends of Yesterday.
Yay!
Yay indeed. So, we're being what a lot of our notes will just reference the previous episodes. Like a lot of our feelings about certain characters will pretty much just be copy and pasted. So we'll try not to repeat ourselves about things, how we feel about Carter and Savage, because nothing too new has come up. They're about the same. Carter's still an idiot, and Savage is still a villain.
I know, it's twice in a row that something was solved because Cisco helped her instead of Carter. Like last time, it was the whole jumping off the roof thing. She actually jumped off and sprouted wings after Cisco talked to her alone. And this time, it was Cisco that talked to her and then it worked.
I like that connection though. Not enough people notice the similarities though. Because, Carter even brings up, oh, you were able to sprout your wings, but he doesn't acknowledge that he didn't do it, she did.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really brings that up.
He just kind of assumes, oh, it took a while for his words to sink in. She thought about it, then she jumped.
But so the whole episode, despite being an Arrow episode, does take place in Central City, but it doesn't take place at Star Labs or any location we've usually seen. It takes place at some house. Whose house is this? Did they buy a random house? Why would they buy a random house?
I don't know. There was.
How did they pay for it?
We saw animals behind a fence in the background.
Why'd they go to this house? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe Laurel's mom owns it.
Maybe?
Originally, she was gonna visit her mom.
You know what? That's about as close as I can get. But yeah, this episode does contain a lot more. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Did the last episode contain any of the Egyptian flashbacks?
I don't think it did.
No, whereas this episode contains quite a few. So we start to learn more about their past selves, which, spoiler alert, we will learn more about in the future, obviously. Yeah, it's not awful, but it's not exciting or anything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there. But oh well, we get some... But as we said last time, we learn about objects that were there in the first time they died, which again, as I said, it would be really nice if they just put the Orb of Horus there. The Orb of Horus being what we saw Constantine try and find in Lian Yu. But they didn't. It'd be really cool. They had the prop. They could have just put the prop on the desk and not said anything.
Yeah.
It would have been a nice reference and would have tied everything together. But I guess we're just going to not figure out if there's a connection between that or not. But, oh well. Continuing on with the, shall we say, cliffhanger from last time.
Well, that room was the priestess's room. Maybe she didn't have it. Maybe someone else had it. Maybe the pharaoh had it. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Because Prince Khufu's dad was the pharaoh, so...
I remember back in Egypt, they didn't have doors yet.
Oh, yeah, Randall just walked right in, and he's like,
and if she's a priestess, shouldn't there be guards? If it's her bedroom, you'd think there'd be guards outside.
Especially because the prince was in there, you'd think guards would want to follow him.
But nope. Nobody's guarding her bedroom.
So another priest can just walk right into her room like, I caught you, you got the prince in your bed.
That's, oh well, Egypt really should have invented doors. But, okay. But, like I said, continuing the, shall we say, cliffhanger from last time, we do have William, Oliver's son, as we foreshadowed in the last episode, as well as the last crossover, and way back in Season 2. Yes, that plot thread finally came up after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I love how far in advance they put these things, though, like I said.
Yeah.
I love when things are put way in advance. It just feels so nice.
Mm.
But, okay. Remember, this is an Arrow episode, and this, for many people, like I said, for the first 7 episodes, Arrow Season 4 has been fine. It's been good. We've had quite a few good episodes. This is what some people will call the beginning of the downfall of Season 4, and it's all Felicity's fault.
I'd say it's more Oliver's fault for not telling her.
No! But he was going to tell her! He literally got home!
Yeah, and then he changed his mind.
Okay, yes, he should have told her after the reset was pushed. So basically, yeah, Felicity tries to ruin the season, but Barry presses a reset button. So it's gonna come back eventually.
Well, after the reset, he agreed with what Samantha said about keeping his world separate from William, and her terms were, don't tell anyone.
That's still...
Which is so dumb, because, like, he could tell Felicity, but then Samantha doesn't have to know that Felicity knows.
He still could have told Felicity and not told anyone else and just kept with the deal. Which, by the way, is a stupid deal. If Oliver wants to see his son, he has legal rights. It is his son and he has legal rights, and he would probably win in a court battle since Oliver has turned his...
he could at least get weekend visitation rights.
Oliver has turned his life around, as he mentioned, so he does have legal rights, and he'd probably be allowed to, since Samantha's actively kept that a secret.
Yeah.
But it's just a whole mess.
If he wanted to push for it, he should have weekend visits, which I think he might, like, from what, like, her end of the deal is, yes, you get to have a relationship with him, but you can't tell him you're his dad.
Yeah.
You just get to go over and play action figures.
This will come up later.
Which was a nice scene, Flash versus Captain Cold.
Yeah, his room is covered in posters, including 2 of the exact same Flash Day posters. His entire room is just Flash posters, except for a rainbow kite. But that's about it. But... okay, that whole plot line is a side plot. It's not related to the crossover. It's just a mess. Like last time, with the Flash episode, we had to have, like, the Velocity 6 plot. This time, we get the William plot. So, yeah, like I said, Arrow Season 4 will eventually have a downfall, and it won't happen immediately because the reset button was pushed, but eventually it will come back, and oh boy. Like I said, I don't hate Season 4 as much as 3. Like I said, the main problem is Felicity and this whole plot. And believe me, it's gonna come back even worse. But let's stop worrying about that. This is still a crossover, and it's still great in every other aspect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we said, we do get the scene where they try to fight him the first time and everything fails and Barry time travels, which...
and then he fixes...
why didn't Barry try and... I mean, I guess Barry didn't bother since he knew he was probably going to time travel, but why didn't Barry try and grab Oliver and run out of there? Not that it mattered, because he couldn't exactly time travel. Could he time travel with Oliver? That'd be a mess.
I don't know.
Because it's still the weird time travel where he replaces his old self. Time travel's inconsistent. But I suppose, we've got to have time travel in this crossover, since what's this crossover building up to?
Yeah.
But again, like last time, I just thought I'd give you a reminder of how awesome the music is in crossovers.
Oh yeah, the way it blends together.
I love when it blends together, and I also do have to, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I also love Vandal Savage's theme. It's a good villain theme.
Yeah.
It's a good villain theme that, like, you get the sense of an impending approach of a villain.
Yeah.
But when they finally do get it, I love when we do the second time and everyone's there. I just love seeing a team up.
Yeah, because Barry
It's not as good as the team ups we're going to see in later crossovers, but this is like a good precursor to it.
Yeah, because they learned from all their mistakes. The first time, gauntlets didn't work. They fixed that. Kendra didn't sprout wings. Cisco fixed that. And Oliver insisted that the others didn't come the first time.
For no apparent reason.
That.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just so good seeing them all together. It's good seeing the team-up shots and them working together. I mean, that's the thing, I love Arrow. It's already got a big cast, so we get a lot of good team-ups. But then, well, it's not really much of a team-up since Flash is the only other extra. Well, I suppose we've got the Hawks as well, so it's just so good seeing team-ups. And if you love it now, just you wait till later crossovers. But, okay, again, I'm not going to let the opinion of Felicity stuff drag it down too much, but it still will a bit. Last time I gave this a 9.5. I'm going to give this an 8.5. Still,
I really wish I could remember
you gave it a 7.5 last time.
I'll go 8.
So that means technically this is better, but to be fair, your ratings never make sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, it still is good because it's the conclusion of the crossover. It's good in every way. I just had to drag it down for being all the Arrow crap. Whereas with the Flash stuff, the Flash plot with Velocity 6 didn't show up as much, and it didn't do any harm at all.
Yeah.
Whereas this, oh boy, but we'll get into this when we get to, funny enough, another crossover. But we'll worry about that later.
I hate, though, that ending that she just had to break up with Cisco and leave. The only reason why they chose that location they're going to is because Carter was like, oh, we lived there last time and you liked it. No. Well, she lives in Central City now and she likes it.
Does anyone want to tell Jitters that she quit?
You got it in 2 weeks.
I guess we just kind of forgot about that. Also, remember, there was a bit of a time gap between, like, remember at the end of the last episode, they said, all right, we're off to Central City, right? They all drove there, or flew there, or whatever. Clearly Barry run there. Why couldn't Barry just be nice and clean up Oliver's house before he went there?
Yeah.
It would have taken him like 3 seconds. Instead, Oliver comes home and the whole place is still a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But yeah, why didn't Kendra and Carter just get a place in Central City? She could keep working at Jitters
Because she wants to be a hero. Why be a hero in Central City? They've already got enough heroes.
being a hero doesn't pay.
I'm sure she'll find out. We never find out what job she does have when she goes to St. Rogue.
Yeah, why didn't she just keep working at Jitters, do a bit of heroing on the side, and keep dating Cisco? They actually had chemistry.
Yeah, I know, but I suppose Central City's already got enough, and, well, to be fair, that wouldn't last anyway.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know that.
Yeah, I know, but it just sucks for Cisco. But it's so weird, though, the fact that, you know, they have, like, 2 episodes building up this whole thing of, like, Cisco and Kendra, you know, because there was only, like, 2 episodes of it, then a crossover. And the first episode was just him meeting her. The second episode was, oops, I screwed up, then I'm going to have a real date. And then it's a crossover. All this build-up for practically nothing.
Yeah.
Although, you know what's funny? Savage obviously still would have went to Jitters no matter what happened. If Barry didn't have issues asking out Patty, Cisco wouldn't have asked out Kendra, and they never would have went together. So Savage probably would have just found Kendra, killed her, and that would be the end.
Well, they were at Jitters after closing.
He would have found her either way, though.
Yeah, he would have found her
She probably would have
else.
just been at home. He'd find her, kill her, that'd be the end of it. So, yeah.
Cisco saved the day.
Well, only because... No, only because Barry said, what about you? You're not asking people out. So if Barry didn't say that, none of this would have happened.
Okay.
It's just funny thinking about how that all lines up. But all in all, still a good crossover. Not obviously as good as some of the later crossovers, but it's a fun crossover.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to figure out how to do a good build-up because, you know, Flash vs. Arrow was just kind of a normal... Flash vs. Arrow and Brave and the Bold were just normal episodes that happened to have the other cast members. Whereas this was way better.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, we've rambled on enough. Felicity dragged it down, but anyway, what's the next Arrow episode called?
Dark Waters.
Well, we'll worry about that next time. Anyway, this has been the end of the crossover. We will see you next time for more Arrow and other things as well. See you next time, guys. See you next time.